Commander Jack Reed stood by the large window of the Coalition space station, watching the alien ships come and go. Even after 2 years as Earth's representative, the sight still amazed him. 37 different species, all working together in this galactic coalition. Humanity had only joined 18 years ago, after discovering faster-than-light travel. Beautiful, isn't it? Ambassador Tom Wilson asked, stepping beside him. Jack nodded. Sometimes I still can't believe we're here. Tom's smile dropped suddenly. The council is asking for us. Emergency meeting. Jack felt a cold feeling in his stomach. Emergency meetings were never good. The council chamber was a large round room with seats for representatives from all coalition worlds. Today, only the High Council. The 7 oldest member species sat at the center table. Their faces looked grim. High Chancellor Morrow, a tall blue-skinned alien, stood up. Representatives of Earth, we have called you here because it is time you learned about the harvesters. The room darkened and a hologram appeared above the table. Jack watched as strange black ships, shaped like giant arrowheads, moved across space. The harvesters come every 80 years, Morrow explained. They demand tribute from all worlds in the coalition. Resources, technology, and, he paused, people. People? Tom asked, his voice tight. Yes, they take a percentage of each world's population. Those taken never return. Jack felt his heart race. And you just allow this? The council members looked at each other. We have no choice, said Councillor Venn, her 4 eyes blinking slowly. Those who refuse are destroyed completely. A new hologram showed a green planet. Then came the black ships. Beams of light hit the planet again and again. When they stopped, the planet was nothing but burning rock. That was Tellus Prime, Morrow said quietly. They refused to pay tribute 90 years ago. Jack's fists clenched. Why are you telling us this now? Because the harvesters will arrive in 3 years. Earth must prepare its tribute. Absolutely not. Director Anna Kent slammed her hand on the table. Back on Earth, she had called an emergency meeting with Earth's leadership. Jack and Tom had just finished explaining what the council told them. We can't just hand over our people, the president said, her face pale. There must be another way. Jack leaned forward. The coalition has lived under this threat for centuries. They've accepted it as unavoidable. But why? Asked General Stone, his gray eyes hard. 37 species together should be able to fight back. Tom shook his head. They tried once, about 300 years ago. The harvesters destroyed 16 worlds before the coalition surrendered. Since then, no one dares to resist. Anna pulled up data on her tablet. According to our calculations, Earth would need to give up about 2 million people. The room fell silent. No, Jack said firmly. Throughout human history, we've never accepted tyranny for long. I refuse to believe this is our only option. Over the next weeks, Jack began quietly gathering information about the harvesters. He noticed something strange. Despite centuries of contact, the coalition knew surprisingly little about them. It makes no sense, he told Anna during a secure video call. It's like no one has ever tried to study them properly. Anna nodded. I've been analyzing the footage you sent. The harvester technology is advanced, but not impossibly so. And I found something interesting. Some coalition species seem to have technology they don't share. What do you mean? Look at this. She showed him images of ships from different coalition worlds. These energy signatures don't match the technology they've shown us. They're hiding their best tech. Jack frowned. From each other, or from the harvesters. Both, probably. Everyone's looking out for themselves. Jack knew he needed allies. He started with Kor, a reptilian alien whose world had suffered heavily under the harvesters. My people have paid the tribute for 12 cycles, Kor said, his scaled face sad. Each time, we lose our brightest minds, our strongest workers. We stay weak, while the harvesters stay strong. That's their plan, Jack realized. They keep us all afraid and divided. Kor looked around nervously. Some of us have wondered if there might be a way to fight. But it would take many worlds working together, sharing all their knowledge. The council would never approve. Jack leaned closer. What if we didn't ask for their approval? 2 months later, Jack stood before Earth's Defense Council. On the screens behind him were images of the harvesters and their ships. They want us afraid, he said. Fear keeps us obedient. Fear keeps us from working together. But humans have never handled fear the way other species do. He pulled up new images, secret designs for weapons that combined Earth technology with hidden advances from 5 other coalition worlds. We've found allies, species who are tired of living under the shadow of the harvesters. Together, we've started developing new technologies, new strategies. The Coalition Council will never support this, Tom mourned. We're not telling them, Jack replied. Not yet. Earth has something the other worlds lack. We've never known peace. Our entire history is filled with war. We've become experts at fighting against stronger enemies and winning. Anna stepped forward. We've analyzed their attack patterns, their ship designs. We've found weaknesses, and we've started developing weapons they've never encountered before. General Stone looked at the plans. This is still a huge risk. We could end up like Tellus Prime. Jack nodded. Yes, but if we surrender, we lose our people anyway. And we'll live under their shadow forever. He straightened his shoulders. Throughout our history, humans have never accepted tyranny for long. We won't start now. The president stood up. What exactly are you proposing, Commander Reed? Jack's eyes were determined. I'm proposing that instead of preparing tribute, we prepare for war. Not just us, a secret alliance of worlds ready to fight back. And if we fail, someone asked, then we fail fighting, not kneeling. Jack looked around the room. The galaxy has lived in fear long enough. It's time someone decided enough was enough. The room was silent for a long moment. Then General Stone stood up. I'm in, he said simply. One by one, the others stood as well. Earth had made its choice. The days of the harvesters were numbered. They just didn't know it yet. This is insane, General Marcus Stone said as he studied the underground facility. 1 month had passed since Earth decided to fight back against the harvesters. We built all this in just 4 weeks. Jack nodded. When humans put their minds to something, we work fast. The facility stretched for miles beneath the surface of Mars. Hidden from prying eyes, it housed research labs, training grounds, and shipyards. Workers moved quickly, building ships with technology from 6 different worlds. The Coalition would shut us down if they knew, Jack added. Let them try, Stone replied, his eyes hard. Better to die fighting than live as cattle for slaughter. Dr. Ellen Wright peered through her microscope at the strange black substance. It had taken months of secret negotiations to get this sample, a piece of a harvester ship destroyed centuries ago. Anything useful? Anna asked, entering the lab. Ellen looked up, her eyes bright with excitement. This isn't just metal. It's partly biological. The harvesters bond living tissue with machine parts. Is that important? Very. Living things have weaknesses. They get sick. They can be poisoned. Ellen smiled. And I think I found something that might work as a poison. Ambassador Tom Wilson faced the angry Coalition Council members. Somehow, they had learned about Earth's secret preparations. This is unacceptable, High Chancellor Morrow said. Your actions will bring the harvester's wrath upon us all. We are simply developing our defenses, Tom replied calmly. Every world has that right. Defenses? You are building more ships. Counselor Venn shouted. You are training soldiers. And why shouldn't we? Tom's voice grew stronger. For too long, this galaxy has accepted slavery as the price of survival. Earth does not accept this. Morrow leaned forward. We will inform the harvesters of your plans if you do not stop immediately. Tom felt a cold anger fill him. You would betray fellow coalition members to save yourselves. To save billions of lives. Yes. Morrow looked genuinely sad. This is how the galaxy survives, Ambassador. We bend so we do not break. Tom stood tall. Humans see it differently. We would rather break than bend to tyrants. Jack met with representatives from their secret alliance on a small moon in neutral space. 6 species had joined Earth so far. Kor's people, the reptilian Drac, the insect-like Vis, the crystalline Lumi, the amphibious Merat, and the gaseous Volti. Our timeline has been compromised, Jack told them. The Council knows we're preparing and threatens to expose us to the Harvesters. Kor's scales paled. Then we must accelerate our plans. Can we be ready in time? Asked the Vis representative, her antennae twitching nervously. Jack displayed the latest intelligence. The Harvesters follow patterns. They always take the same route through coalition space. That gives us a chance to set traps. The Lumi representative sparkled as he spoke. My world has developed stealth technology. We can hide small bases near their path. The Merat can provide underwater assembly yards, their ambassador bubbled. The Harvesters never search ocean worlds thoroughly. Jack nodded. Earth will provide tactical expertise and weapons designs. Together, we'll be stronger than any of us alone. What about the Council's threat? Kor asked. We need to show other worlds that resistance is possible, Jack replied. If enough join us, the Council won't dare betray us. On Earth, training facilities worked day and night. Humans taught their alien allies guerrilla tactics, asymmetric warfare, and strategies developed over thousands of years of human conflict. In one training room, Captain Lisa Foster watched as mixed teams of humans and aliens practiced urban combat. The Harvesters always land in major cities first, she explained. They want to capture centers of government and communication, so we'll make every street a battleground. A Drac soldier raised his hand. But their ships can destroy cities from orbit. Lisa smiled. That's why we won't be in the cities when they arrive. In a secret lab beneath the Pacific Ocean, technician Ben Miller tested a new device. It was small, about the size of his palm, but it could change everything. Ready for the test? He asked Dr. Wright. She nodded, and Ben activated the device. On their screens, the quantum signals they'd been monitoring suddenly dissolved into random noise. It works, Ellen cried. The quantum disruptor actually works. Ben grinned. The Harvesters use quantum communication to coordinate their fleets. With this, we can blind them. Ellen's face grew serious. But only at short range. We'd need thousands of these to disrupt their entire fleet. Then we'll build thousands, Ben replied, and we'll place them everywhere they might go. 2 months later, Jack received an urgent message from their spy in the Coalition Council. What is it? Anna asked, seeing his face grow pale. The Harvesters have sent scout ships ahead of schedule. They'll be here in 3 months, not 2 years. Anna's hands tightened. Did the Council betray us? No, Jack replied. Someone else did. Someone who knows our plans. A traitor? Who? Jack shook his head. I don't know, but they've told the Harvesters that Earth is leading the resistance. Anna's eyes widened. So they're coming straight for us. Yes. They want to make an example of Earth before the rebellion spreads. Jack pulled up a star map. But they don't know everything. They don't know about our hidden bases, our stealth technology. Can we be ready in 3 months? Jack looked at the reports from their alliance worlds. Ships were being built. Weapons were being tested. Soldiers were being trained. We have to be, he said firmly. We won't get another chance. Captain Lisa Foster stood on the bridge of the warship Defiance, the first of Earth's new battle fleet. Around her, human and alien crew worked together, preparing for war. Weapons check complete, her first officer reported. All systems green. Lisa looked at the view screen showing Earth below them. The planet was beautiful, blue and green and alive. She had sworn to protect it, no matter the cost. Captain, her communications officer called. "We're receiving a transmission from Mars Command. The Harvester Scout Force has been detected entering the solar system." Lisa straightened her uniform. "Battle stations. Deploy according to Plan Alpha." As alarms sounded throughout the ship, Lisa felt a strange calm settle over her. Humanity had spent its entire history fighting, often against itself. Now, finally, they had a worthy enemy. The Defiance moved silently into position, along with 30 other warships. They hid in the shadow of Saturn's rings, waiting. The galaxy had lived in fear for too long. Today, that would begin to change. The Harvester ships appeared, black against the stars. They moved confidently, not expecting any resistance. They had no idea what was waiting for them. The HFY lived in fear until humanity decided enough was enough. Part 3. The resistance rises. The Harvester scout ships moved slowly through Saturn's rings, unaware of the trap waiting for them. There were 7 of them, black arrowhead shapes against the stars. On the bridge of the Defiance, Captain Lisa Foster watched the enemy approach. Her palms were sweaty, but her voice remained calm. "All ships hold position," she ordered. "Wait for my signal." Hidden among the ice and rock of Saturn's rings, 30 Alliance warships waited silently. Their new stealth technology kept them invisible to Harvester sensors. "They're entering the kill zone," Lisa's tactical officer reported. Lisa took a deep breath. This moment would change history forever. "All ships, execute attack pattern Delta. Weapons free." In perfect unison, the Alliance ships powered up and emerged from hiding. The Harvesters had only seconds to react before the first shots hit them. Blue energy beams, a combination of Earth and Lumi technology, sliced through the black hulls of the Harvester ships. The enemy returned fire immediately, their red beams cutting through space. Evasive maneuvers, Lisa ordered as her ship shook from a near miss. The battle was fierce but brief. In 20 minutes, it was over. 5 Harvester ships destroyed, 2 damaged but escaping. "Should we pursue?" asked Lisa's first officer. She shook her head. "No, let them run. Let them tell the others what happened here." Lisa looked at the debris floating among Saturn's rings. "Send the message to Earth. Operation First Strike successful." In the underground command center on Mars, Jack Reed received the news with mixed feelings. Their first victory was important, but those 2 escaping ships meant the main Harvester fleet would now be fully warned. "They'll change their approach," General Stone said grimly. Jack nodded. "Yes, but this still gives us an advantage. We've shown the Harvesters can be hurt. That's something no one has done in centuries." Anna pulled up the battle data on the main screen. "Look at these readings. The Harvester ship's outer layer absorbed much of our energy weapons, but Dr. Wright's biological weapon worked perfectly. It ate through their hulls like acid." Jack turned to the communications officer. "Send word to all Alliance worlds. Begin Phase 2 immediately." On a dozen worlds across the galaxy, hidden resistance cells sprang into action. The battle at Saturn had been the signal they were waiting for. On the ocean world of Merat, huge underwater factories increased production of stealth generators. In the crystal caves of Luma, engineers built advanced energy weapons. On the gas giant where the Volti lived, their cloud cities became training grounds for pilots who could fly in any atmosphere. And on Earth, every available factory worked around the clock, building ships, weapons, and the thousands of quantum disruptors designed by Ben Miller. Dr. Ellen Wright worked frantically in her lab. The samples recovered from the destroyed Harvester ships were invaluable. "Their technology is even more biological than we thought," she told Jack during a secure video call. "Their ships are almost like living things. They can repair themselves, adapt to attacks." "That's not good news," Jack replied. "Actually, it is," Ellen said with a smile, "because I found something else. Their biological components all share the same basic DNA structure, which means one virus could affect all of them." Jack's eyes widened. You're developing a virus against their ships. Not just their ships, Ellen replied. Their weapons, their communication systems, maybe even the harvesters themselves. Everything they build has the same biological base. The Coalition Council called an emergency session when news of the battle reached them. Ambassador Tom Wilson stood alone before them, facing their anger. You have doomed us all, High Chancellor Morrow shouted. The harvesters will punish every world for your defiance. Perhaps, Tom replied calmly, or perhaps they will learn that the days of their easy harvests are over. This is madness, Councillor Venn said. No one can stand against them. Someone just did, Tom pointed out. 5 of their ships destroyed, 2 damaged. By our count, that's more harvesters killed in one day than in the last 300 years combined. A murmur ran through the council chamber. Tom pressed his advantage. The choice is simple. Continue to live in fear, giving up your people and resources every 80 years, or join us and fight for freedom. From the back of the chamber, a new voice spoke. Earth is right. Tom turned to see Council Member Vax stand up. The old alien's voice was strong despite his age. I have lived through 3 harvests, Vax said. I have watched as the best of my people were taken away. I have been silent out of fear, but no more. He looked around the chamber. My world will stand with Earth. One by one, other representatives stood. Not many, perhaps 1 in 5, but enough to change the balance of power in the council. Morrow looked stunned. You will destroy the coalition. No, Tom replied. We will save it. On the edges of the solar system, automated sensors detected the approaching harvester main fleet. It was massive. Hundreds of ships, far more than intelligence had predicted. They're taking us seriously, Jack told the Alliance War Council. They've diverted their entire fleet to crush us before the rebellion spreads. Can we stand against so many? Kor asked, his scales pale with worry. We don't need to defeat them all, Jack explained. We just need to hurt them badly enough that they'll consider negotiating. Harvesters don't negotiate, someone objected. They've never had to, Jack replied. But everyone negotiates when the alternative is worse. Pilot Dave Rogers led his fighter squadron on a daring raid against a harvester supply depot. Human pilots flew alongside aliens from 3 different worlds, each bringing unique skills to the battle. Target in sight, Dave reported as the massive space station came into view. All wings, attack formation. The fighters swooped in, too small and fast for the station's heavy weapons to target effectively. They fired precisely at weak points identified by intelligence. The station's defenses fought back, destroying 3 fighters. But the damage was done. The station's power core overloaded, causing a chain reaction. All wings, pull back, Dave ordered. As they retreated, Dave watched the station tear itself apart. Without this supply depot, the harvester fleet would be forced to spread thinner, opening more vulnerabilities. Mission accomplished, he reported, returning to base. In the Mars Command Center, strategic AI Athena processed battle data from across the galaxy. The AI had been designed specifically to counter harvester tactics, learning and adapting as the conflict progressed. Multiple resistance cells reporting successful attacks, Athena reported in her calm voice. Harvester supply lines disrupted in 7 sectors. Estimated 23% reduction in their operational capacity. Jack nodded with grim satisfaction. The resistance was hurting the harvesters, but the real test was still to come. New data incoming, Athena announced suddenly. The harvester main fleet has increased speed. They will reach Earth orbit in 72 hours. Jack looked at the tactical display showing the approaching enemy fleet. Their first victory had been important, but this would be the real battle, the one that would decide if humanity's defiance would inspire the galaxy or end in tragedy. Send the signal, he ordered. All Alliance forces to defensive positions. Operation Last Stand begins now. The room fell silent as everyone realized what was coming. The greatest battle in human history was about to begin. and the freedom of the entire galaxy hung in the balance. Admiral Helen West stood on the bridge of Earth's largest warship, the Horizon. Around her, officers monitored screens showing the approaching Harvester fleet. "All ships report ready, Admiral," her second-in-command said. Helen nodded. "And our allies?" "In position. The Drac fleet is hiding behind Mars. The Lumi ships are in Earth's shadow. The Marat and Volti forces are waiting near Jupiter." Helen looked at the main screen. Earth was beautiful from space. Blue oceans, white clouds, green and brown land. Her home. The home of all humanity. Today, they would either save it or die trying. "The Harvesters will exit hyperspace in 5 minutes," a young officer reported, her voice shaking slightly. Helen straightened her uniform. "Send to all ships. Remember your training. Remember what we fight for. Today we make history." Jack Reed watched from Mars Command as space seemed to tear open. The Harvester fleet emerged, hundreds of black ships moving in perfect formation. The largest ship, nearly the size of a small moon, led the way. "That's their command ship," Jack said. "The Overlord must be on board." General Stone nodded grimly. "According to the plan, we let them approach Earth, making them think we're concentrated there. And then we hit them from all sides," Jack finished. "But timing is everything." On the Defiance, Captain Lisa Foster prepared her crew for battle. "The Harvesters think they know what to expect," she told them. "They think they know our capabilities based on the Saturn engagement. They're wrong." Her tactical officer looked up from his station. "They're moving into position around Earth, Captain. They're deploying in a standard attack formation." Lisa smiled slightly. "Good. That means they still think this is a conventional battle." She opened a channel to all ships in her battle group. "All vessels, prepare to execute Operation Wildfire on my mark." The Harvester ships surrounded Earth, their weapons ready to fire. From their command ship, a message was broadcast on all frequencies. "People of Earth," a deep, echoing voice said, "your defiance is noted. Your punishment will be severe. Surrender now, or we will destroy your world completely." On the horizon, Admiral West received the demand with a cold smile. "Send our reply," she ordered. Her communications officer nodded. "Transmitting now, Admiral." The message was simple. "We do not negotiate with slavers." The battle began with a flash of light as the Harvesters fired on Earth's orbital defenses. Space stations and satellites exploded under the assault. "They're testing our defenses," Jack observed from Mars Command, "waiting for us to show our full strength." "Then let's not disappoint them," General Stone replied. He opened a channel to all Alliance forces. "Operation Wildfire is go." "Repeat, Wildfire is go." Across the solar system, hidden Alliance ships powered up and moved toward the battle. From Mars, from Jupiter, from the dark side of Earth's moon, they converged on the Harvester fleet from multiple directions. The Harvesters reacted quickly, adjusting their formation to deal with threats from all sides. But they had never faced an opponent who used such tactics before. On the Defiance, Lisa ordered her ship straight toward the Harvester command vessel. "Deploy quantum disruptors," she commanded. Small devices launched from her ship, floating toward the enemy. When they activated, the Harvesters' communications began to break down. Ship-to-ship signals became garbled. Commands from the Overlord couldn't reach the fleet. In Earth orbit, Admiral West led the main human fleet against the largest concentration of Harvester ships. "Fire all weapons," she ordered. Energy beams and missiles streaked across space. The Harvesters returned fire, their red beams slicing through several human ships. "We've lost the Valiant and the Guardian," an officer reported. Helen's face remained calm. "Continue the attack. Push them toward Sector 7. The human ships pressed forward, taking heavy damage but forcing the Harvester vessels to retreat in the direction Helen wanted them to go. Dave Rogers led his fighter squadron through the chaos of battle. Human fighters flew alongside alien craft, targeting weak points on the larger Harvester ships. "Squadron, follow me," Dave called over the radio. "We're going for their engines." His fighters dove toward a massive harvester battleship, dodging defensive fire. They released special missiles, each carrying Dr. Wright's biological weapon. "Direct hit," Dave shouted as the missiles struck the enemy ship's engines. Within minutes, the biological agent began to eat through the living components of the harvester technology. The battleship's engines failed, leaving it drifting in space. "One down," Dave told his pilots. "Many more to go." On Mars, the strategic AI Athena analyzed the battle in real time. "Harvester fleet effectiveness reduced by 32%, she reported. "Quantum disruption successful. Biological weapons showing 87% effectiveness." Jack nodded. "What about our losses?" "Alliance forces have lost 41 ships. Harvester forces have lost 73. "Not enough," General Stone said grimly. "We need to hit them harder." Jack studied the tactical display. "The command ship is the key. If we can damage or destroy it, the rest of their fleet will be disorganized." He opened a channel to Captain Foster. "Lisa, can you get your ship close enough to the command vessel to deploy Dr. Wright's virus directly?" On the screen, Lisa's face was streaked with sweat and blood from a minor head wound. "We'll find a way," she replied. The Defiance fought its way through the harvester fleet, taking heavy damage. Warning alarms blared on the bridge as systems failed. "Shields at 18%, the tactical officer reported. "Hull breaches on decks 3 through 7. Lisa gripped her command chair as the ship shook from another hit. "Keep going. We need to get closer." The massive harvester command ship loomed ahead of them, its weapons firing continuously. "We won't survive a direct approach," Lisa's first officer warned. "We don't need to," Lisa replied. She pointed to a small fighter bay on their screen. "We just need to get close enough to launch the delivery system." She turned to her communications officer. "Send to all nearby Alliance ships. We need covering fire, everything they've got." From across the battlefield, Alliance vessels redirected their fire toward the area around the command ship. The sudden concentration of attacks forced the harvesters to adjust their defenses. The Defiance slipped through the gap, racing toward the command ship. "Launch the delivery system," Lisa ordered when they were in range. A small, specially designed probe shot from the Defiance toward the command ship. It carried the most concentrated form of Dr. Wright's virus, designed to target the biological components at the heart of harvester technology. "Direct hit," the tactical officer reported as the probe crashed into the command ship. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the lights on the massive vessel began to flicker and die. On Mars, Jack and the others watched in amazement as the harvester command ship went dark. "It's working," Jack whispered. Throughout the solar system, the battle paused as everyone, human, alien, and harvester, witnessed the unprecedented sight of the mighty command ship drifting powerless in space. Then, a transmission came through on all frequencies. The voice was different from before, higher, almost frightened. "What have you done?" the harvester overlord demanded. "How have you done this?" Jack took a deep breath and opened a channel to respond. "We've shown you that the galaxy no longer lives in fear. The days of your harvests are over." There was a long pause. Then, "The main harvester fleet is still coming. They will destroy you all for this." Jack's blood went cold. "What do you mean, main fleet? This isn't your full force." The overlord's laugh was chilling. "This is merely our advance force. The main fleet is 3 times larger. They will reach Earth in 72 hours. Nothing will survive." Silence filled the Mars command center after the harvester overlord's words. The main fleet was coming. 3 times larger. They had 72 hours. Jack Reed looked around at the tired faces of his team. They had fought bravely, but how could they face an even larger enemy force? "Options," General Stone asked finally. Anna pulled up the battle data. "Our fleet is damaged. We've lost almost a third of our ships. The biological weapon worked, but we've used most of our supply." "And the rest of the Alliance?" Jack asked. "The Drak lost half their fleet. The others are in similar shape." Anna's voice was grim. "We can't win a direct battle against a force 3 times stronger than what we just faced." Jack closed his eyes for a moment. Then an idea came to him. Something crazy. Something human. "Contact Ambassador Wilson," he said suddenly. "I need to speak to the captured Overlord. And get me Dr. Wright. I think it's time for Plan Omega." Captain Lisa Foster sat in the medical bay of the Defiance as a doctor bandaged her arm. Her ship had taken heavy damage in the battle, but the crew had survived. "Captain," her first officer called from the doorway. "Command is requesting our assistance. They need us for a special mission." Lisa stood up, ignoring the pain. "What kind of mission?" "They're calling it Operation Damocles. Top secret. Commander Reed wants to brief you personally." Lisa nodded. Whatever Jack needed, she would do it. They had won a battle today, but the war was far from over. On Earth, Dr. Ellen Wright worked frantically in her lab. When Jack had contacted her about Plan Omega, she had immediately understood. It was risky. It was possibly insane, but it might be their only chance. "How many can we make in 48 hours?" Jack had asked. "With every lab on Earth working together." "Maybe 5,000, she had answered. "Make it happen," he had told her. "Everything depends on it." Now, as she programmed the new biological weapon, she prayed it would be enough. The captured Harvester Overlord was a strange sight. Without its protective suit, it looked almost frail. A pale, thin creature with large black eyes. "You wanted to see me, human?" it asked as Jack entered the holding cell. Jack nodded. "I want to offer you a choice." The Overlord made a sound like laughter. "You have no choices to offer. The main fleet comes. You will all die." "Maybe," Jack agreed. "Or maybe your entire species will die instead." The Overlord's large eyes blinked rapidly. "Impossible. You cannot reach our homeworlds." Jack smiled coldly and activated a holographic display. It showed thousands of small objects scattered throughout space. "Do you know what these are?" he asked. "Stealth probes. We've been sending them out for months. They're now positioned near every known Harvester world and base." The Overlord stared at the display. "You lie. Each probe contains an advanced version of the biological weapon that disabled your ship. One command from us, and your entire civilization will face the same fate. Your ships will fail. Your technology will collapse." For the first time, the Overlord looked uncertain. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I'm offering a choice. The main fleet turns around and never returns, or we activate the probes and your species faces extinction. The harvesting ends today, one way or another." Around Earth, the battered Alliance fleet prepared for the arrival of the main Harvester force. Ships were repaired as quickly as possible. Weapons were reloaded. Injured crew members were treated. In orbit, Admiral West supervised the deployment of thousands of new quantum disruptors. They would need every advantage possible in the coming battle. "Admiral," a communications officer called. "We're receiving a transmission from Mars Command. Commander Reed wants all senior officers for an emergency briefing." Helen nodded. Whatever Jack had planned, she hoped it would be enough to save them all. Jack stood before the combined military leadership of Earth and their alien allies. The room was tense with anticipation. "In 24 hours, the main Harvester fleet will arrive," he began. "We cannot defeat them in direct combat." Murmurs of concern filled the room. Jack raised his hand for silence. "But we don't need to defeat them. I've spoken with the captured Overlord. I've explained our Plan Omega." He activated a display showing the stealth probes positioned near Harvester worlds. These probes contain Dr. Wright's most advanced biological weapon. If activated, they will disable all Harvester technology. Their civilization will collapse. "You're bluffing," one of the alien commanders said. "We don't have that kind of reach." Jack smiled. "The Harvesters don't know that. And we've been launching probes in every direction for months now. Some of them really are near harvester worlds. Mutually assured destruction, General Stone said with grim approval. A very human concept. The Overlord has sent our terms to the main fleet, Jack continued. They have a choice: retreat permanently or face extinction. And if they call our bluff? Admiral West asked. Then we fight to the last ship, Jack replied. But I don't think they will. The harvesters have survived for centuries by avoiding real risks. They prey on the weak. They've never faced an enemy willing to destroy them completely. The next day, tension filled every ship and base as they waited for the main harvester fleet. On the Defiance, Captain Lisa Foster watched her crew prepare for battle one last time. 10 minutes until the harvesters arrive, her tactical officer reported. Lisa nodded. All weapons ready, biological delivery systems primed. The minutes passed slowly. Then, at the expected time, space folded as the harvester fleet arrived. It was massive, easily 3 times larger than the force they had faced before. Hundreds upon hundreds of black ships filled the view screen. They're taking up attack positions, the tactical officer said, his voice tight with fear. Lisa gripped her command chair. This was it. Either Jack's bluff had worked, or they were about to face their final battle. The harvester ships moved into formation around Earth, weapons powered up. Then, suddenly, something unexpected happened. The massive ships began to turn away. Captain, the communications officer called in disbelief. We're receiving a transmission from the harvester command ship. On the screen, another overlord appeared. Its voice was cold but controlled. We have considered your terms. The harvest of Earth and its allies will cease. We will withdraw from this sector of space permanently. A cheer erupted on the bridge of the Defiance. Lisa silenced it with a raised hand. Why should we believe you? She asked the Overlord. Because we are pragmatic, it replied. The risk of extinction outweighs the benefit of harvesting your worlds. You have proven yourselves unprofitable. The transmission ended. On the view screen, the harvester fleet began to move away from Earth, their engines glowing as they prepared to leave the solar system. 1 year later, Jack stood at the window of the new coalition headquarters on Earth. The building was filled with representatives from 43 species, all former victims of the harvesters, now working together as equals. Ambassador Tom Wilson joined him at the window. The reports from the border outposts are good. No sign of harvester activity in any coalition space for a full year. Jack nodded. And the new defense network? Almost complete. If they ever return, we'll be ready. Jack looked out at the beautiful Earth landscape. Humans had done what no other species thought possible. They had stood up to the greatest threat the galaxy had ever known. And they had won not just through strength, but through courage and determination. The galaxy lived in fear until humanity decided enough was enough, Tom said quietly. Now it will learn to live in hope. Jack smiled. That sounded right. Humanity had always been good at hope, even in the darkest times. Now they had shared that gift with the stars.